This day 1112, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. My sponsor comes share more of the Arukh Yomi. Please help me directly. I greatly appreciate it. Everything you're there. Simon Kudalit, Sif Yud, Tez Vav. Yud, Udvar of Khan. Nearly Kavan Acheres. So we're talking about the Ramah and the question whether the Sheretz is Shir is Kadasha as opposed to others so much have a Shir of Kazayas. Shem Chai B'Shet Sharisim Neja Shir Kadasha. He doesn't distinguish between Sheretz and others. It's swim because of the prohibition being the size of a lentil. But rather between in a place between a case where the Isser is discernible unto itself, doesn't know batal when it's not negated. Never notify the main Malcolm She'enis in the place where it is not discernible in and of itself. That was batal that then it's negated. Since Beisay didn't explain this explicitly, that's why he explains it. His mind means to say most prohibitions go to phalos or trefos. So behemos tomeos, like all those stuff. But if it's tmeim as well, sheisarvu im basar kosher when they get mixed up with kosher meat. Nechlu chatichos, that goes in cut into small pieces. But I am you can't distinguish them among themselves. Came to kulam marabasal and basar kosher. They all look like kosher meat. I was shlotim maraches lahem. Shlotim, they look different. And you can basar. You can distinguish them from any type of meat. So therefore, it says by sheretz it's a problem, and not because it's the size of adash, because the shear of isser is like the shear of tuma, the size of adasha. No, the Arukh HaShulchan has rejected that. But he's a very beautiful svara. He says because you can tell the sheretz, no matter the fact that it's small, it's always discernible and distinguished from the kosher substance. Sheretz by itself, lo sharmine yisurim. The sheretz is nikar by itself, not other types of yisurim are not. Rambam perik tezvav. Calls the suros din lamarav. Rambam writes, ach pashinofel l'sheichol l'chometz. Mouse who fell into beer or the vinegar. Mishana so b'shishim we nullified in 60. Shanu choshim shema tamob l'sheichol v'chometz mashbiach. But the reason we do this because we're concerned maybe its taste in the beer or in the vinegar enhances it. I mean, not I know Shem falls into wine or to oil or with vash or to honey, mutter is permissible. I feel also time even gives a taste in time pogame because the taste is an off taste, it's a bad taste. Because all these things have to be fragrant. This makes them rancid and destroys their taste. The stack with Varav, they were not. The people have a question in the Rambam. What's the locha by other things besides these? In other words, other substances, other beverages. Some say some say in other beverages it also doesn't have because he basically mashkin or other beverages plaguing it certainly is a bad taste, and so she should about to play you don't need 60 to nullify its emissions. Piece of novel shuman, that's the case, and falls into fat. Just like the wine into oil. The Rambam, why did he mention only three things? If it's a reality, it's many more. It's just an example. Does he have to count all his wares like a peddler? As the Gemara is very, very frequently. He says that in these two substances, there's a possibility, a doubtful possibility that maybe it's enhanced the taste. They show you those and then we should make him. So he made in order we should not mistake that this is true about other things. That's right. It's not true. But some say since he writes that they have to be fragrant, maybe it's only these, not others. According to this fountain of fat, it's osir. That's where the more right. Because Rabbi Yesh Machmir Meshuman, I can't lashon. So be a Machmir by fat. So the Messiah Mokom Efsik Gadol Yesh Machmir Divinakil Akan lashon. He concludes that in a place where there's a great loss, you can lie on those who are lenient. But near Del Etzem Adin, Kam Ilus Vileidenu Kain. Seems that or Arukh HaShulchan suggests even according to Ramah, in the actual halacha, the mouse gives a bad taste in the in other beverages. Rak Makam Shein have said God is just a place is no not a great isn't a great loss. Chashash LeDivrei Machmir is concerned with those who are Machmir. Dina could go up anybody says, but according to strict letter of law, that's the law. It's a base Yosef. Can't be said that Rasha believe in Siva Torah Sabais. Rasha passes this way explicitly. But Ram B'Shem B'Shem Tzarfasim, the right name of our French rabbis. The Rak B'Shem B'Chometish Chashash only by beer and vinegar. There's an issue. Ayin Sham. You'd basically that's according those who are strict by fat. Because Rabbeinu Ramah, the Shon Ramah writes, "V'yesh machmir b'shuman." They're those who are strict by fat. Afilu imukashel fanenu. Even if the fat is hard in front of us. Imshavchu midei yom b'yom o yom kshumuk b'ktera. If every day they added fat to the pot, v'yesh l'sapek, we can question Shema Achbar Yasham. Maybe the mouse is there of when they poured their boiling fat. So everything is also 60 in the fat corresponding to the entire mouse. Below Iro Rav, they didn't pour on him anything. Or they poured, but it was known the mouse is not there when they poured. And the oil comes when it's hard, it's congealed. Also, if the mouse is fine on top of the fat, it's enough to take away a layer around where the mouse is found. Lamaskin Issa, we don't assume the prohibition. Shema Shimon Rach, maybe the fat was soft when it fell there. The cover Sharek and Bushel, and then it was soaking, is like cooking. The mutter mikot fake because there's a fake here. Suffing Navasham Shu Kasha. Maybe it fell there when the fat was congealed. You did so much rock. I say when the fat was still soft. Maybe the fat became hard. It congealed before 24 hours elapsed. The whole place of the fat is repugnant to eat. Also, legal gankim are knesses. You don't only eat fat because the mouse was found in there. You can't blind and shul either. Because you're not supposed to bring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu things which are revolting to human beings. So that means, would you give this to your pasha? So not. Welcome hefsei gadol yeshli smocha divrei kilim akalshon. Again, in places with large, substantial hefsei, you can rely on those who are lenient. All this is from this. Oh, none of this. This was from the Ramah. Okay, I think I mentioned the middle of my Arukh HaShulchan. It's not. It's all from the Ramah. You give a bad varkenu. Now the Arukh HaShulchan speaks. If they left a mouse at the bottom of the pot, and they poured boiling fat on it, I feel even as more than 60. All the fat becomes awesome. Each thing you pour touches the mouse and it becomes awesome. And even if the pot is half full and more, what you pour afterwards, since it is boiling and hot, it penetrates to the mouse and touches it. Even if the fat on the bottom near the mouse is cold, when you pour in it boiling fat, it clears for itself a path through the cold fat. And touches the mouse and it comes also. The question that's what he writes. They pour it each and every day in the pot, and you do a machbar. You don't know when the mouse fell there. All of the oil is also because they're afraid maybe the mouse was there previously. And all of the hot oil which they poured, Nagabach Bar Vanessa touched the mouse came usher. Seems to be a bit repetitive. Even though yesterday's oil is already cooled down, the fat yesterday's cooled down. Nevertheless, even if the mouse is at the bottom of the box, I just read this, I'm sorry, that's why it sounds familiar. I went back, I'm sorry. Having that coffee confused me. Um, it opens up a path. But what if they didn't pour daily? But they spilled all of the fat into the pot at one time. But at that point, it was known there was no mouse. They checked it. Maybe it fell when the fat was not completely congealed. The kavusha got soaked and it's like cooked. Kokol neves mutu tam sveik sveika. There's because of the sveik sveika. Suffix now probably also shuman kosher. The suffix if it fell when the fat was congealed, which would be okay. But suffix there's another suffix. Shemus kasha shuman koimes leis. Maybe the fat congealed before the mouse is there for 24 hours. After I call suffix echad, it's really all one suffix. Shemai or kavushalo, was it soaked or not? Come clean them bezeh. Nevertheless, we are mako because shara ikadinu suffix gankin, which is because the primary underlying halacha is also suffix. Who says it's nice to dam l'shvach altogether. But if the fat is soft when it comes to us, if we know it's soft when the mouse fell there, have a suffix coverage, then it's a question of perhaps it was soaked. There isn't 60. And can you do unless it's no shloya that was not there for 24 hours when the fat was soft. Even though in this case also fake sveka. Suffix in nichbash meis leis, suffix soaked for 24 hours. You need so much nichbash meis leis. And he was soaked for 24 hours. Shema divrei kamater made the lochas like those say that there's no same time of gam. Vote furthermore, the abachav shirko yeguva yisavik gemara k'mosh kosavu. Even by vinegar and beer, there's a question whether it's no sinam l'shvach. Come, nevertheless. Loretz Rabbeinu Hamal tzayv tzveika dedina luzeh. Ramal didn't want to put a tzveika dedina in the question of suffix and halacha. It's an interesting reason. Because anyway, this is also chumrah. So we're dealing with the chumrah on its own terms. Then so back is in hefsei gadol. So therefore, we're talking this chumrah when there's an hefsei gadol on its own, and where there's no hefsei gadol on its own terms. L'kach lo ratzol tzaref speika dedina lezeh. And that's why you didn't want to put a speika dedina into the equation. Even though in other places, mitzarfin and suffix demikardin, we use the suffix in the ikra halacha. It says ayin shach prim gonafi mashkan asi shapir. Okay, whatever. They ask, works out according to Arukh HaShulchan. Pashtu, it's obvious. The kelim she'achlu v'bishlu hashul mahem, the vessels in which they ate and cooked the oil, the fat, mutar and mutar no matter what. Came in the kozel chumrah k'mashman, because this is a chumrah. Ava kli shoya bo shuman v'achbar, but the vessel which had the fat and the mouse, din hakli kedin hashuman, the halacha of the vessels, the halacha of the fat, being shuman asur, that the fat is asur, comes out kli asur, the vessel is also asur. Kisha ein bo hefsei gadol, when there isn't hefsei gadol. Yud dalid. That which you wrote in a place where the fat is repugnant to eat. Also, legal gam guess. Now that's using English shul. Some say it's only when the fat is forbidden to eat. Some say that in a place where it'd be also if it's repugnant to him, ain't illegal. Yes, you can't use it in shul. Not for any other mitzvah purpose. Such as Ner Chanukah, Ner Shabbos, etc. And then Malcolm Shemosla, in a place where it's disgusting to him. Anyway, it's still usher. It's also regardless. We should bow to shaksu, not to eat repugnant stuff. It says in brackets. But even if he's not particularly sensitive, he's allowed to eat it. If for other people it's repugnant, asur who even though you can eat it, we might eat it. In fact, can't use it for mitzvah purpose because it's an objective standard. That's one opinion. Some say that everything has to do with him. If it's him is repugnant, if it's not repugnant to others, also dvar mitzvah. It's also dvar mitzvah. And also the opposite. On him, it's not repugnant. Even to others, it is repugnant. Mutter, you're allowed to use it for mitzvah, but tzarich ir. The bracket says here, Shabbos elachila kataz. Are Magin Avram. Ain't king come on Kosh so if I see Magin Avram. Okay, all that's not we can't understand without getting into it. Tesvav. Kasto to Rishon Gimel. Dvarim am usim repugnant stuff. Shav Shoshalom Katzamem, which people find to be revolting. Um, Namalim, like ants, uzvuri, and flies, yitushim, and mosquitoes. Shkodam, bodam, musam. Everybody refrains from them because they're disgusting. I feel the sorrow, but they're mixed up in a cooked dish. V'nimcha gufa l'tocha, and their bodies dissolve in it. You might have to wrap all over. There's more heter than than those revolting things. We'll talk in a minute. Come, kol shem shal yivdok la'avir misnenes, building beside it, akadashah. Nevertheless, whatever you can check and strain through a strainer, you should do so. Figure Ben Ramah, the Ramah adds meal. B'chal of a sheikhar by vinegar and beer. Yesh l'chush k'mo b'achbar k'al l'shalom. We should be concerned just like by a mouse. The Tamo, his reason is the name of Kordin Zem Rashba, Kosh Kosvatur. So the Rashi Lama Din Zem Achbar learns the mouse. In Kain Dinam Kachbar. So their Mazlacha must be like the mouse. That's fine, but I'm very astonished at this. The Edgekas of Mordechai Perk Beis, the Beisa, Mordechai explicitly, the Dvorim have a Kinevela Sucha. Bees are like a repugnant nevela, Meikara from the get-go. All these are worse than bees. Gam Kosav Sham B'Shem Rokech, this Vuv Gam B'Shir Lav Kumu. He writes in Rokech that an oil, even in a fly, even in beer, is nothing. Well, that it's not like a mouse. I ain't Ran who writes that there's a parallel. Already was that she writes like this explicitly. Hashaminan, from here he derives kol advarim musin kachbar chayotzibo. Ein omin plitasan ella b'chala v'shichra. Ein osrim, sorry. Ein osrim plitasan b'chala v'shichra. You only forbid them to give their emissions in vinegar and beer. Haresh lokosam rak alam usim kachbar. He's only so those which are disgusting like a mouse. But the malim uzvuvim yetushim. Okay, so Arukh says, well, these things are more disgusting than the mouse. The ants, the flies, and the mosquitoes are in Garo. It's very difficult to understand what's going on. Okay, and that's it for today.